Could you please touch either James or Martin on the shoulder?
Touch James.
If you're here.
I'm fine.
Could you pat James or Martin on the head if you're here, Archie?
Did somebody just touch my arm? Honestly.
James and Martin are home sweet home in Aberdeen, Scotland, ready to revive a beer style that hasn't been seen in over a century at Haddo House, the most hauntedest place in all of Scotland. So David has set them up to brew in the sacred safety of the chapel to protect them from any potentially evil spirits.
An attempt to revive a vanished local beer style, fermented in dead whiskey casks in Scotland's most haunted house at midnight.
What could possibly go wrong? David.
What?
So our first stage for this is going to be mashing. Let's do it, yeah?
What kind of malt have we got?
Extra pale ale malt. Nice and simple, British malt, well modified, will give us a little bit of biscuity sweetness, a little bit of colour. Nice and steady, slow mash.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
No.
Martin, have you seen a ghost?
I've seen a ghost.
Have you ever seen a ghost that wasn't in a Hollywood movie?
No.
What's our mash temperature, Stuart?
We are at 67 degrees centigrade just now, aiming for 65 so that we can get all that starch that's in there converted down to fermentable sugars.
Such an amazing thing about the history of brewing in Aberdeen. At one point in the 1500s, there was 157 breweries in Aberdeen. When you get towards 2006, there were 0 breweries in Aberdeen.
And the year after that, BrewDog. Temperature's bang on, so we're just going to let that sit. Traditionally, they would have left this to sit for 3 hours because the malt back in the 1800s was not modified as good as the malt that we have these days.
Stuart, if you can keep guard in here, maybe defend this mash tun with your life.
Spoon?
Defend it with a spoon.
And then, James, we should go and find some ghosts.
I don't want to do that.
You're coming to find ghosts.
Martin, I know ghosts don't exist, but I'm also terrified of them.
There's definitely ghosts.
There's not such a thing as
There is
ghosts.
ghosts.
Gripped by fear and trembling, the guys head to the drawing room to meet up with Ryan O'Neill, Mark Turner, and Barry Fitzgerald, an all-star squad of the UK's most talented ghost investigators.
So what we're going to do is we're going to link fingers. That's not actually my finger. Archie, if you're with us, please make yourself known. Could you show yourself to us?
Just heard what sounded like leave.
I'm happy to leave. We'll put the lights back on.
Yeah, there you go.
Archie, if that's you making the noise, could you come closer to us? Could you please touch either James or Martin on the shoulder?
Touch James.
If you're here.
I'm fine.
Could you pat James or Martin on the head if you're here, Archie?
Did somebody just touch my arm? Honestly. Honestly, there was like someone in my arm. I'm not joking.
So what did it feel like?
Like a little electric shock in the back of my arm.
Okay.
It's like he was trying to electrocute me.
Martin, are you shaking?
A little bit. It's not funny.
It's kind of funny.
How do you feel?
Scared.
Okay. Archie, is that you? Could you do that again for us, please? Only stronger this time.
Not stronger. Do it to James.
So, Archie, would you like us to leave? If so, could you squeeze his arm again?
Don't squeeze my arm. I'm married.
Hey, guys.
Definitely, probably saw a ghost.
Definitely, probably, almost, maybe.
Has it been about 3 hours we've been away? I completely lost track of time in there.
It certainly sat for a good amount of time, done its mash rest, broken all those starches down to sugar.
Okay, so I'll start transferring the wort from the mash tun into the kettle.
It's the first time this has happened for 160 years.
No, Stuart was doing this last week.
No, but this recipe.
Oh, yeah, right.
Let's taste it.
Taste it. To William Black.
Solange.
Clean, simple, touch of caramel from the Maris orchard in there.
It's definitely a big mash. It's really, really sweet. A lot of sugars in there that'll ferment out.
So we've got the kettle filled up. Just keep a boil. Time for the first hops. And what do you think the East Kent Goldings are going to add to the beer?
They're going to give it a kind of spicy and a very floral overall note.
And it would have been really important to get enough bitter and hops in this beer because it would have been very sweet otherwise. So you need the bitterness to kind of cut the sweetness.
All we need to do now is transfer this out to the whiskey cask. And the only way that we can do that is by taking it outside, letting it cool down, straight into the cask.
Stuart, are you scared now you've left the safety of the chapel?
To my very core.
Oh, it's a nice frosty night. That's perfect.
To get it to cool down as quickly as possible, we can just lift the keg up, sit it on top of here, and put the hose back in. Up, 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 up. Cool.
You got it?
So, Stuart, this whiskey cask is made up with 3 casks from dead distilleries.
So it's almost ghost whiskies
Right.
and a ghost beer in the most haunted place in all of Scotland.
I've never been so terrified in my whole life. To 8 amazing years of brewing, and to the next 8 as well.
Cheers.
All the best.